Hola everyone, it's Veronica Artolini with Codebreaker Real Talk, Unchained Hearts, Unchaining Hearts, and sometimes on Super Soldier Lady Talk. So today I wanted to show you something. Let me show you something in reference to the intelligence, NSA. Here we have, remember, Crossfire Hurricane with the whole Trump and Russian, what they called the collusion. So Crossfire Hurricane was a code name for the counterintelligence investigation undertaken by the Federal Bureau of Investigations, FBI, from July 31st, 2016 to May 17, 2017, into the myriad links between Russian officials and associates of Donald Trump and whether individual associates with his presidential campaign were coordinating wittingly or unwittingly with the Russian government efforts to interfere in the 2016 US presidential election. Okay, so a few days ago, I shared with you the video of that young dude that was saying that he was a former CIA asset. And he's talking about all the secrets and things like that. He was also talking about how they have this program where, because most of us here on Earth, starseeds have been used by the CIA, have been used in the super soldier programs, Montauk, Monarch, the Assassins programs. So, you'll most likely have some memories now. Usually, I think I did have many, many nightmares growing up as a child, being an assassin and also being chased after as a child. And it even bled through from when I would go visit in Mexico, my grandparents, these assets. Back then I didn't know what the hell it was, but they would be chasing me and down the road and whistling at me and just targeting me. I didn't like it. I was only like maybe 7 years old. All I wanted to do was play with my cousins, right? So I tell you all this because not only do they do it with the presidents, targeting them, false information. Um, the guy at the CIA, supposedly he's a CIA asset, and his wife too. He's telling people about all these secrets, which we've talked about here on Codebreaker. How they target individuals, and then once you realize that you are targeted, you're like, you become paranoid. Many of you that know me, you know that I don't sleep at night because I'm just listening, looking, like who's coming, the anxiety, the PTSD, the depression, it's really, really hard. But it comes out from these programs, not only in secret space, but here in the United States and Mexico. I've been everywhere pretty much. They've used me everywhere. And so what they do is they break you, they pretty much try and break you. And when they do things such as, unfortunately, rape, molestation, other things here on Earth, okay, not just over there in La La Land or in secret space or in Mars, here it is traumatized. They traumatize us as children for a reason. I was taken at 1.5 years old, and I had to learn how to breathe underwater as a little child, And anyway, they used me and others to go through wormholes, do time travel. Yes, we can change time. And then there's the Mandela effect. There's a reason why they have us here when it's Mars retrograde. They want us to keep thinking about past BS. Look at here. It says, going back to the CIA thing. In late July 2016, according to his May 2017 testimony to the House Intelligence Committee, CIA Director John Brennan convened a group of officials from the CIA, NSA, and FBI to investigate Russian interference. In 2017 interview, Brennan describes this group effort as a fusion cell. According to his later testimony, Brennan gave the FBI leads involving contacts and interactions between Russian officials and US person involved in the Trump campaign that were beyond the CIA's mandate to pursue. He says this information served as a basis for FBI investigation to determine whether such collusion cooperation occurred. So these people, the DOD, CIA, they will send people to presidents, to people that are, trying to be in office and help people. I mean, remember, my view is that both sides are puppets, and I don't vote anymore, but that's just me, okay? Because I don't think it's just a mess. But uh, and the other day I was like, okay, well, now that I don't like to use the word awaken, but now that we know that we're here and that we've been used by the CIA, we've been used as assassins, we've been used in so many programs, Sex Kitten, Alter, all this stuff. What do we do now? If we know that the government is corrupt, what do we do now? Do we just keep talking? Oh, obviously we do. We just keep talking, but there has to be some of us, starseeds that are that can start like some kind of movement. Remember Cesar Chavez with his whole, movement against the pesticides for the grapes, because the kids were, in the farms, they were coming out with no limbs and things like that. That was an experiment. So we are all in a grand experiment. I recommend you watching Charlotte, Queen Charlotte. She was from the Moor line, and a lot of us have the Moor line. And most of these blonde NAZIs are connected, to us now, because their bloodline, they wanted like the best superhuman, right? And then they started mixing the bloodlines and things like that. So some of them, though, are very upset because they always wanted to keep the pure white Anunnaki, Alpha Draconis bloodline. So this whole war here on Earth is because of that. Okay, we were just caught in the crossfire, just like here where it says hurricane crossfire. Going back to this, it says here the crossfire hurricane code name was taken from the open line of Jumping Jack Flash, Rolling Stones song. Okay, everything's connected. Trump 2016 campaign had prominently featured another Rolling Stones song. You can't always get what you want, and rallies at the 2016 Republican National Convention. So this reminds me also, when I was in high school, they took me and another student to this program called Close Up because I wanted to be a politician. I wanted to be a first, female president. I wanted to be a governor here for Arizona. When I was a kid, I had all these expectations in politics, like, social studies. Anyway, they took me and this other person to Washington, D.C. with other students. I still have the pictures, I still have my some of the paperwork. So they said, they picked me and another guy. So we're like, okay, we're over here visiting the Pentagon, right? Of course, we couldn't really go inside the White House. We went through to the museums, and obviously I was taken there for the dumps, for the programs there. I was in high school. I was a senior, along with others. So I was already being groomed, not only for politics, but for the Sex Kitten altar, unfortunately. But it's how is it that right now, barely, like this year, we'll say 2023, all this stuff is coming out about the collusions, about, oh well, Trump did this, and then they find out, that all these assets that they send, these spies to Trump and to others, obviously, they're like, I think they just arrested like 2 agents that came that were Chinese agents that were sent by China to infiltrate the government here, and it's like the spy game, the spy war game has been in effect for a long time. I mean, eons. So there's a game here on Earth, unfortunately they want the black and the white, but this whole law that we have here, we have the law of attraction, we have the chess game of, are you going to be good versus bad? Are you going to obey versus not obey? Well, we have to go down the middle path. We have to get rid of the programs of, oh, you are bad or you are good. I wanted to show you, let's see here, another document that I found on my phone because I was like trying to clear my phone. I'm like, what the heck do I have here? So I'm just going to read the bottom here in reference to the well, let's start with the top. Unlike most FBI investigations, which are managed from FBI field offices, Crossfire Hurricane was managed from FBI headquarters. The information it collected was not shared with or available to others in the FBI, including, as described above, the what is this thing? Directorate of Intelligence, the OIG review says that, and then you can read that later. But on the bottom here, it says, the investigation's compartmentalization and its usual structure as a headquarters investigation may have limited the amount of oversight that it received in the past. NSA's collection of the international communication of U.S. citizens and groups was already highly compartmented. A Senate committee chaired by Senator Frank Church investigated this activity. It reported in 1969, NSA formalized the watch list program under the code name Minaret, M-I-N-A-R-E-T, Minaret, in caps. The program applied not only the alleged foreign influence of domestic dissent, but also the American group and individuals whose activities may result in civil disturbances. Okay, when I read that, I was like, Then they have these the active shooters, right? They target the active shooters. They sent code words, or they sent a person to, infiltrate their space and their mind, right? Disturbances, or otherwise subvert the national security of the U.S. At the same time, NSA restricted its personnel. Sorry, it gets all small here. Personnel to restrict the knowledge that NSA was collecting such information and to keep its name off the disseminated product. So in the game, you never know. Like, you never know who's there for you. You never know who's there to infiltrate you. For example, I've talked about when I was in the police academy at Seletzi. Go back and look at that video. I'll go ahead and link it here. How they hypnotized me, after Red Man Drill. I'm not going to get into that, but they have all these assets, even in your own family. Some of you are awakened, some of you are not. And I'm trying to find another word other than awakened. But you realize that it's pretty much all bullshit. And then you start freaking out. Okay, you have what Lauren Pritchard Alexis coined a long time ago. She's like, I had an ambush awakening. I'm like, me too, dude. It's like they come at you at all sides. And then you're like, fuck, am I alone in this? Am I alone in this world? And the CIA guy was also saying that, we really don't have friends here. He said we have permanent interests. I'm like, holy F. So anyway, then when you realize that you're going through all this awakening, like, holy shit, like, this is not a coincidence. They're following me. They broke into my apartment. Oh my gosh, they broke into my mom's apartment. Crap, they even followed, another family member, last year, and things like that. You're like, is this, even when I go to the, walking down the river with my dog, they follow me. They follow me all the time. And because they have to keep track of me. They send what they call the Omega program. The self-destruct program is the Omega program. So there's all these secrecies. And of course, they got DARPA agents coming at me, they were. And it's like, they want to know what I know. The guy that they sent almost 3 years ago now, they wanted to know, DARPA wanted to know what I knew. And I knew about the dogs coming up with the AI thing. I knew that it was going to be released. I knew that it was more than just spyware. It's actually a killing machine. Okay, it's actually a surveillance. So not only do they send humans, but now they're sending these DARPA dogs out to the public to surveil you, to surveil us. And also, someone was telling me that in Kaiser, in California, the hospital, they have these robot machines. They just stand there and they just stare at you. And I told this person, yeah, that's because they're measuring your iris. They're making sure that no, hey Iris, what's up if you're listening, right? They're your cortex, your brain, they're like, what is she thinking? What's her next move? And they also have the special cameras at Target too, where they can surveil your thoughts. It's like, okay, is this person gonna steal? You know, what is the next person, what is the next move on this person? So now I'm trying to tie this up to, oh gosh, I'm trying to tie this up to the sex kitten altar thing. Um, because what happens is, people get like really lonely sometimes, and um then they go to dating sites, okay? Because you're already in the program, like, okay, well, I have all these secrets and I can't be with anyone really. So what do you go do? You go do one night stands, right? And then some people, like me in the past, I wanted a look at all this, you have to pay for someone. I wanted where it could be a long-term relationship. So you go long-term dating apps, online dating sites, right? Do some dating that doesn't waste time. Okay, a lot of people want it fast. Unfortunately, I tried the Facebook dating app and it's horrible. You have to put how many mile radius, because I'm in a border town, and so they sent like all these people from Sinaloa, Juarez, Baja California. Some once in a while will be like in Phoenix, and they're fucking ugly. I'm not kidding. Some of these men are horrible looking. And they'll say, oh yeah, I'm looking for a long-term relationship, or they'll say, oh, yeah, my wife died or whatever. No bullshit, no drinking, whatever. So you give all your information, right? And then the guys, especially the ones from Mexico or from another country, or the ones that want they're married and they want you to go to WhatsApp, and then you start talking there, and then what happens? So not only do these sites, all of these are different sites that collect our database, our information in their database, I should say, and they are all part of the spyware. What I coined, well, not me, well, there's that, but I use, it's Amy Webb from the big tech nine companies in the world. Her book is called The Big Nine. It's G Mafia, so it's Google, right? I use this other one too on my phone. It's called Brave. Power Lady told me about it. And so it's Google, Microsoft, right? Everything you do on Microsoft is being recorded and seen, even on Zoom. All right, we know that. And before I forget, before I go through the whole G Mafia thing, anytime there's a lag, you guys know, anytime there's a lag on my videos or on my phone calls. The other day I was trying to talk to Power Lady and we got interrupted a good 5 times, I think. And then a few months before that, we got interrupted again and again, and the calls just dropped. And we were just in our home. We were both in our home, like, hey, dude, I'll call you back. Or she would text me and she's like, I can't hear you, or I can't hear you. So anytime there's a lag on our videos or our phone calls are interrupted or dropped, they are listening. Okay, they meaning all these, CIA, DOD. Remember the CIA has other subservient Black Ops. They have all these other freaking names. Okay, they'll pay people that have been in the army just to go and infiltrate you. Like I've gotten infiltrated at the gym from this guy that was in the army, and he made my life a living hell for a month. Because he wanted to know everything about me. He wanted to know about the UFOs, and I'm like, dude, you were in the military. You don't know. It's like he wanted me to give him all my knowledge in one fucking week. I'm like, dude, like go study it yourself. You pay me. It's like, pay me, mother effer, right? It's like $100 an hour, dude, like just for me to talk. And some people don't. So some people, they just want everything free. They want, and then they do gaslighting. Then they call you crazy. All right, I digress. So going back to G Mafia, right? We got Google, we got Microsoft, we got Apple, we got Facebook, we got IBM, and we got Amazon. And have you ever noticed that Amazon looks their little here it is, their arrow, it looks like a DICK, it looks like a penis, guys. I mean, that's ridiculous. I was looking at that the other day driving and I'm like, this is crazy. All right, so this is the book that I always talk about and I do my classes. I still have 4 classes available. I'm getting a ring in my ear. Go away. I do not consent you surveilling me. I do not consent you changing my personality. I do not consent to anything that you are trying to send me now in this now moment. I return you to sender with consciousness attached, as above, so below. So here we go. It has to do also with the houses, the smart cities that I've talked about. And they're gonna be, you know, pretty much if you need to go to the doctor, they want you to pretty much stay home. Okay, and they'll put like this light on you, and then they'll measure, they'll see how your temperature is doing. They'll pretty much through AI diagnose you. They'll send you medications through Amazon, things like that. So let's see, I've never seen this one. But yeah, I like to talk about her because she's awesome. Miss A.B. Lab.
Everyone to the Word 25 speaker meetup. It is basically okay, so there's two differences that can overlap sometimes. So we can so let's start with the difference between a tool and a game. So when we talk about user experience, there's too many things we're looking at. We're looking at who is the user, who's going to use the platform, and what experience we want to offer. And there's also, when we have a UX approach, we want to offer the best experience possible to the user, but it's inside a specific business model. We also need to make revenues.
Okay, I thought she was going to be talking about this this book here, but never mind. So speaking of users and tools, what I find interesting is who are the players, right? Who are the players? For example, and also the software. The software is also, let's talk about real quick. I'll just give you an example. Let's talk about Caterpillar. How do I get out of this? Caterpillar has, it's here in town. They have let's see, Tucson. They have these caterpillars, right? That the equipments that are run pretty much by software, and the softwares are top secret. They usually hire agents to be contractors to speak to the middleman. We'll say Caterpillar will employ you and says, okay, your job is to be a contractor to Caterpillar, I don't know, Incorporated, which is not Caterpillar, it's just another agent, right? And so this agent is gonna get his machines from you, and well, there's a just non-disclosure agreement. There's all kinds of software in top secret information that cannot be sold and to the public. They're top secret, that in other words, the middle guy cannot disclose to the guy that he's renting it to, get it from Caterpillar. So all these non-disclosure stuff, all these secrets here, anyway. So I'm trying to wrap this up here. Everyone that you come across in this world, you got to see like who you can you trust them. It's really hard to trust people nowadays in the dating game. They just, they'll infiltrate you in the caterpillar game, right? The backhoe loader. Anything that you do in life, you just analyze it. Are you going on a dating site because you're lonely, hungry, angry, lonely, and tired, right? Halt. Are you becoming paranoid that they're coming after you? What are you going to do? What's your plan? Are you going to take yourself out? Because pretty much sometimes they do want us to take ourselves out, but then because you know so much, they want to know who you talk to because they also know so much. And that's pretty much why I'm here still. Because as you guys know my story, was dead for 3 days and in the hospital for a month and a half. You guys can look at my my video on Unchaining Hearts, what happened to me, how I was targeted, how I was MK Ultra to end my life. My father's life too. I was 13 when he took himself out. He started being awakening to these things. And anyway, I hope this makes sense. I'm trying to be articulate about it, but my main thing today was just be careful what you listen to. Protect your crystal, protect your crystal. We're gonna go into this dark. So, and the crystal that I'm talking about obviously is your heart, but there's also a there's also in the middle, in our pituitary gland, in the middle of our forehead, right? That is where the information goes to the subconscious. So if you're like every day watching porn, or if every day you gotta go have sex with someone else, and not clearing those demons and not cutting cords, then you are making your crystal, your beautiful crystal heart, dark. Let's see if this will show.
Outside time lies a mystical realm of sound and vision, of civilization.
Those are the sketchies, the bad ones. Look at that. See? And we have two sons here. That's like the oracle there. So throughout the movie, because I don't want to get a strike, but throughout the movie, the struggle is they're trying to take pretty much the bloodline, the blood from the children, the energy from the children, so that they can make themselves younger. And that's what happens here on Earth too. And so our whole thing is we got to take care of our crystal, right, in our forehead, in our hearts, right? Our heart is made out of crystal, our bloodline, our blood is made out of crystal. We are crystal beings. We are the bioluminescence that I talk about. We're older than the dragons here on Earth, right? Earth pretty much is a crystal being. The core is crystal because our energy is here right now. Our energy is here, but we can go interdimensionally anywhere else. And so we got to take care of our crystals. We got to take care of our children too. We got to watch out what we watch on movies, what we hear, what music we're listening to, because even with the radiation, how much radiation are you taking in a day? You got to take care of your body, your mind, your soul. You got to take care of what you are putting in your program, meaning your mind. Your mind is like a computer. Like, what disk are you going to put in today? What information are you going to drown it with porn? And then all you want to do is just go have sex with whoever and then get STDs and hurt, hopefully not a child or an animal. But you know what I mean? It's like these things, because of the trauma that they have here on Earth, we have to balance We have to balance our life. We have to balance what we see, what we hear, what we eat, who we hang out with, who really is our friend, who is after us, who wants our information, who wants our Stargate, pretty much. Women, you gotta shut down that Sex Kitten altar. I went celibate for a year, and I'm gonna start another year. All right. So hopefully this makes sense. You can always email me. You can always, those of you that have my number can text me. I'm on 9 or 10 social media platforms now. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I love you a lot. Bye-bye.